Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Welcome to the program In the Newsroom. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Today we have three big topics to discuss on the program, and the topics are: U.S. imposed visa ban on democratic Nigerians. The second one, how African can banish food insecurity, quoting President Muhammadu Buhari there. And the third, which is the last but not the least, we will never allow aviation workers strike again, federal government. And it is going to be like an interview program or an interactive session this afternoon, because my guest on the program is Muitin Adeleke. Adebayo Popola is held down doing a very important assignment somewhere, and that is why we will condone his absence on the program this afternoon. Be that as it may, you will not miss anything on the program, because we will state matters as they are, not minding whose ox is God. That is the essence of this program in the newsroom. Muitin Adeleke, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Tunde Bolatito, for having me. We hope Adebukola will join us because of this program.
Yeah. U.S. imposes visa on democratic Nigerians. Undemocratic. That is the main word here. Who are those people qualified to be called undemocratic Nigerians?
That's a question that will be difficult for me to answer, because I won't be speaking for the U.S. government. I'm not the envoy. I'm not a U.S. envoy. If U.S. is interested in making me one, I will be so delighted.
Yes.
But I find it difficult to place the interests of United States of America. United States of America, we know what will I say? The popularity of US. We know the importance of US, and I so reckon with it. Yeah, it's a government that has been self-styled as the policeman of the world, and so everywhere there is a seeming lacuna, US will want to raise its voice and stand up and be counted, even though nothing is its own election is immune from misdemeanors, from problems, crises, and what have you. We were all aware of what Donald Trump did before he exited power, and so that goes without saying that there's no foolproof democracy anywhere. No perfect democracy anywhere. That does not say I tacitly approve of people who, according to the US, are trying to undermine democracy. The US has not said anything about the continued burning of INEC and police stations, INEC offices and police stations in some parts of the country. I wonder,
maybe those are the people. Maybe they know those who are behind it, and the ones,
yes,
and they are not starred
if US is talking about those who are deliberately making life difficult or making democracy difficult to work, or impossible, or a bit very difficult to operate in Nigeria, the US government shouldn't hide under one finger by saying it will not. But it did say that it's not against the people of Nigeria or against the government of the day.
Okay.
Well, I find it difficult placing the position, the current position being taken by US as vis-a-vis Nigeria's democracy, we Nigerians, we could not be queried, or will I say we could not be questioned as far as our patriotism is concerned, even though we have a lot of people there who are working against the current, water current. They are swimming against water currents.
They are swimming against
the tide. Yes, quite a number of Nigerians out there. They relish and benefit from crisis, benefit from anarchy, state of anarchy. That's where they draw their own goodies and booties. So if we have people like that, it is high time US government made public the list of those that they think and believe are really working against the entrenchment of democracy. Whether we like it or not, democracy remains the best option we have.
Yeah.
The only thing is that the way we play democracy in Nigeria is appalling, and it's quite unfortunate that we have the opportunity of doing it the right way.
Our justice system, our rule of law, everything should be part of democracy. But what we have on ground now in Nigeria, somebody described it as jaundiced democracy, because of the fact that a lot of influence are brought in, maybe external or internal.
Into what?
Into our democracy.
Yes, you cannot rule out the undercurrents. Some people say all is well in democracy. But those people who belong to that school of thought are probably those who benefit from the situations, as the case may be. So if it pays you, and it's on that basis that you rate democracy highly, that is quite unfortunate.
And if it does not
favor you, and you now say, this is the worst democracy, then you are not being sincere. So we have to be we have to be apt, we have to be sincere, we have to be dispassionate in our approach as far as our assessment of democracy is concerned. We must, whatever that is happening, but is not in the best interest of the generality of the people, cannot be described as the best. Yes, if really the policies and programs as far as democracy is concerned are anti-people, then it will not bode out well, and it will not be in the best interest of the nation.
If truly democracy is the government of the people, by the people and for the people, how will you rate Nigeria?
Yes, that's popular definition. I've been with us for a very long time, but over time I learned that it is a popular definition only in terms of rhetorics. It's only when we are talking that we say democracy is as far as it is practiced in Nigeria. I wouldn't want to subscribe to that definition as applicable to Nigerian democracy. More often than not, I come on the set to say that the way we practice democracy in Nigeria does not reflect the kind of democracy we were taught in secondary school, and the one that a lot of people, continued to learn at other higher levels. Talk of college, talk of university, and even many scientists, political scientists, find it difficult explaining the rationale, the circumstances responsible for the variation we do witness when it comes to Nigeria. So there are so many extraneous variables that come into play when we discuss Nigerian democracy, the homegrown democracy. At times they will tell you that this particular crisis bedeviling the country requires an homegrown solution.
Yeah.
But we discovered that the people, certain individuals, do engage in activities that are antithetical to the growth of democracy. And the lacuna in our body of law does not make provision for this. The lacuna there we find it difficult placing the unfolding development as far as our democracy is concerned.
But democracy comes in certain confines and limits offered by the law. Yet, we say it is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. In Nigeria, we were in this country during the days of 12 to 3rd, and we called that democracy, and many others like that down the line. My question now is, US coming up to impose ban on those they described as undemocratic Nigerians. They know those people. If they don't know them, they won't come up with this. My question now is, how come the US know those people and Nigerians don't know them?
You cannot say that. What do you refer to as Nigeria? You mean the government?
Not government. I think they are referring to certain individuals here.
Okay, yes, because there are certain people who probably we know as citizens of Nigeria, but who has already had patriotism expunged from their lexicon. So they can do anything to get whatever they want. And by and large, these people, they are very powerful. They have the war chest to confront any government of the day. They find their accomplices in idle hands. Yes.
Job seekers.
Job seekers.
Hangers on.
And unpatriotic Nigerians. Those who do not share the dreams of many good leaders. We have good leaders in Nigeria, no doubt about that.
Yes.
But they do not share their dreams for a developed nation. We should have been among some of the top developed nations. If Malaysia and some other countries are making it, so we have all it takes. If you take a look at the human and natural resources this country is endowed with, you still have people, Nigerians who go. There are Nigerians in the diaspora doing it excellently and excelling, where we have people from developed nations like America, like UK, like even Japan, Germany, France, among others. You discover that these people are really they are doing fine. But when they come, when the situation pities them, against Nigeria or Nigerians. Nigerians have always excelled. But the problem with us in Nigeria is that I don't know why some are so some are so hell-bent in thwarting whatever we consider as a good move, a good plan, a visionary setup by all successive governments of the day. You see some people coming against it and rubbishing such policies and programs. What I've already zeroed it in on the fact that maybe the government has not been so decisive enough to deal with such situations. Like, honestly, there are certain things that should not happen. I don't know. There's no point saying doctors are going on strike. Whatever it takes for government,
even lecturers,
not to talk of aviation workers. We are not the only one affected. A lot of people's businesses and dreams will have vanished if they yes, by the activities of certain individuals on essential services.
Thank you, Muideen. We go to the next topic. And the next topic is how Africa can banish food insecurity. That is quoting President Buhari. Now, we need to ask certain questions from the president himself. He's trying to proffer solution to the problem of food insecurity in Africa. Whereas in Nigeria here, the problem of food insecurity is rife. We must face it and tell the president to his own face that Nigeria, where a country is superintendent over, has been facing a lot of food crises. For example, there was a proposition that Nigerians will go, there will be hunger in the land in the year 2023. We have not heard the president talking about that. He's proffering solution to the problem of food insecurity in Africa. Do you go along with me on this?
If the president has come up with a solution, he is trying to prefer solutions to food insecurity in Africa. Nigeria is part of Africa.
Charity should begin from
he wouldn't have probably excised Nigeria from Africa. He's talking about the whole continent. There's nothing bad in you preferring solutions to problems.
It's always good for
bringing a continent. But if your country belongs to that continent, I align with you that charity must begin at home.
That's it.
So there are if Nigeria is taken as a case study, there are so many factors inhibiting our attempt to have full security generally, and you will agree with me that even Nigeria here, insecurity, the general insecurity is the major problem major factor militating against food insecurity. If there's no insecurity, if farmers can go to farm
without any fear of molestation,
any fear of being kidnapped,
yes,
or being attacked by bandits and terrorists, then definitely they will have the opportunity of planting at the right time and harvesting. Their produce will be for consumption and export, as the case may be. But beyond that, or aside that, the policies and programs of the government as far as agriculture is concerned also matter. The policies, the programs matter. The kind of people that benefit from whatever government has as programs for agricultural related programs. Really, okay, for instance, the procurement of fertilizer and hybrid seedlings, among other things. A lot of people are crying out every now and then. They have cried to the high heaven that those who benefit are not essentially farmers.
That the barren farmers that we have in the offices.
That they are middlemen, those who will benefit, but instead of going to farm for the benefit of the citizenry, they will commercialize whatever they get from the government. So if those who benefit are not the real farmers, then there is a problem. There is a problem because it will not trickle down. It will not trickle down if those who must make use of fertilizer are not the ones that have access to procuring fertilizer. Then that's a problem, and it's one of the major challenges Nigeria has continually faced, and it's rubbing on negatively on our attempt to produce, to mass produce food for our own local consumption and export. I mean, one of those, apart from that, we can still talk about our inability to meet the global standard as far as export of our produce is concerned. The export of yam, we learned that yam, fish, among other, even beans, among other things, we are not meeting the standard, and we all know what it takes to package foods or goods for export. The standards are there. Why not work towards meeting the standard? Because if we are able to do it the right way, we all know the consequences of our ability to do it the right way. That's foreign earning for us, and we need it. And by so doing, if the volume of trade, our trade, if there is a balance, balance of trade, we know it that it go a long way in enhancing our external reserves. We will sell out and we'll get foreign exchange, and at the end of the day, the nation's naira will be strengthened, and even those who have the opportunity, who have the need to procure the dollars and the rest, they won't have to suffer untold hardship, or probably secure it through their nose. So it is basic. We must be a producing economy, and in doing that, we are blessed with human and natural resources. But doing it the right way is our major, as is the albatross. It's our own albatross. We are not cursed, for God's sake. We are not cursed. So why can't we get it right? Why are we still grappling with the problem of energy? We are still grappling with energy crisis in Nigeria.
We are not caused, but our problem has either been lack of good leaders, because critics, Nigeria, we have a lot of critics in this country. They will criticize government and give them the opportunity, they won't perform.
Yes, it boils down to the fact that our problem is not essentially leadership. We have some leaders
But those people who have the quality will not be allowed to get there.
Who will be put in charge of execution of policies and programs. Along the line, they could compromise.
That is another problem.
And most Nigerians, even when where the system works, they will deliberately want to circumvent the system. They
circumvent and sabotage.
That is the problem. If we okay, I do normally say it. You call him Baba go slow. Call him a lethargic resident or whatever name you. I, for one, I believe that when we had Yaradua meant well for the nation.
Oh, of course.
But God, as God will have it, he didn't stay for long.
Yes.
Before he passed on. Come to think of it, we had Jonathan. He had his own challenges. And the present day administration, the president is there. The press has been so hard on him. Anyway, that is the job. That's
our job.
Exactly. But you hardly can fault the intention of this man. He could mean well for the nation. If you have somebody who is not after what he will gain, material gains, who is not after oil well, who is not after having so many mega petrol stations,
who is not having a flotilla of,
that is it. You just give him that benefit of doubt. But those working with him, you cannot say the same thing about those working with him. And that's why you might find difficult placing it sometimes. You might want to blame a leader. Fine, because the leader will take the share of the blame if things go amiss. Yeah, that is it. But we must not exonerate the lieutenants, members of the team, and even we Nigerians. I do say it that it is where people are prohibited from carrying out certain action or the other. That's where their interest lies. They want to know if somebody, if a particular place. I remember somebody in my area where I live. People were dumping refuse in a particular area on a personal landed property. And this man will have, or those in charge of the open space, will have warned a lot of people from doing that. But not until that person came up with a signpost causing that if you continually dump, if you refuse to heed the advice and you insist on dumping, something will happen to you. So that was when people
stopped.
Do we need to go that far?
But it has been discovered.
Do we need to go that far? A lot of people say that it's because people wanting to take up public offices are made to swear with Quran and Bible. That's why they are not faithful.
And people
they are not honest.
Swear with and Oguma.
So I don't know. Do we need to go that far? Do we need to go that road?
It has become imperative because
we don't need
most of them have really disappointed those who.
Let
me put this to you. It has been discovered that most of our leaders and their immediate lieutenants are never on the same page when it comes to the issue of development, the issue of making the people happy, provision of amenities for the people. God, the leader and his lieutenants are never on the same page in Nigeria. Do you believe that?
That
The leaders and the immediate lieutenant are never on the same page.
yes, that it depends on
The leader will have good intention. The lieutenants will will have a way of running around to sabotage whatever the leader wants. Insidiously.
yes, because our mindset varies. Our mindset varies. It varies from one person to another, and we Nigerians, in most cases, are the architects of the downfall of our leaders. Yes, we Nigerians, we at times we give bad advices from time to time. We do not encourage our leaders, and we grandstand. We grandstand. We praise them to the high heaven.
Yes.
Even when we know that they are already far away off the track.
Yeah.
So that is, we don't normally say the truth. When a leader, no leader is will I say is immune from mistake. No, everybody is fallible. Whether you are a leader or you are a follower. Yes, every mortal is fallible. What is important? Okay, I want to recall when Shedina Abubakar was appointed as the successor to, not as a prophet, but as a caliph after the demise of Prophet Muhammad. He said one thing. He said, though you have appointed me as your leader, even though I am not the best among you, if I do well, support me. Or if I deviate, call me back, remind me, sensitize me, and call my attention, and I will make amends. So that is how our leader, what should be the preoccupation of our leader, the mindset of our leader. A leader must not see him or herself as being superior to the subjects. So that's what I want to. And one thing I also want to make reference to Sayyidina Uthman. I think he was the one who used to go about. We'll be leaving, we'll be going from one household to another in the evening, wanting to know what kind of challenges each of the households was facing. And he got to a particular woman who had the pot placed on fire and the children were weeping. I think it should be Umar. The children were weeping. And he was urging the mother to quicken the process. The cooking should be so that the children, because he was aware that the children might be crying because of hunger. But the woman told, he never knew he was the leader, he was the companion, the caliph then. He told the woman told the caliph Umar that I did not have anything, there's nothing, I'm not cooking anything, I only place water so that the children can doze off and sleep. And we have our leader there who was the one was making reference to Umar, and we have our caliph there. He's enjoying, and he does not remember the have not. So that was what Umar had. He went back and he collected food of various brand
and brought to the woman.
The woman said it could have been better if you were our leader, not knowing that the leader was the one. So our leaders, You see, when you are occupy a position of authority, you are holding such a position in trust
For the people.
Whether you like it or not, you are going to exit one day.
Yeah.
Whether you spend 4 years or spend 8 years, the time will come
When you will
be referred to as ex-president,
That is it.
ex-minister,
Yeah.
ex-governor. So that is it. Our leaders must be accountable. They must hold themselves. They should not wait until people hold them accountable. They should hold themselves accountable to God Almighty.
Yes, thank you, Muideen. We go to the last topic for the day. We will never allow aviation workers strike again. That is quoting the federal government. And I want to say this. The federal government is saying this because they are the people high up there are the ones flying various to various countries. And when the aviation workers are on strike, they cannot go anywhere. So, but when the lecturers who hold the key to the future of our children in this country were on strike, the best the federal government could do was to divide the rank and file of the lecturers in this country. Why not say what they are saying now, then, that we will never allow lecturer strike in this country? When medical doctors went on strike, why didn't they say we will never allow medical doctors strike in this country? But because this one concerns them more than any other person, or persons as it were, they are now saying we will never allow aviation workers strike again in this country. Muideen, are you seeing what I am seeing?
I don't know what you are seeing.
What I'm saying is that the government is insensitive to the plight of a group of workers they are not directly benefiting from.
Yes, you have the right to your own view and opinion as a Nigerian under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yeah.
But we must look at certain things. It's neither here nor there. The federal government knows what it's saying. I think we need to put it straight down to the fact that there could be agitations from time to time from the public servants or public workers, as the case may be.
Yeah.
Those serving in some critical sectors need to be a little bit exercise, a little bit restraint, caution. We must not strike. Shouldn't be the only option or the decisive option that we have, because when you talk of certain critical sectors, strike shouldn't be the option.
Yeah.
There could be a better way of approaching crisis, overcoming crisis, resolving issues without necessarily going on strike. The federal government, the country's aviation sector is the window. It showcases the country, and if anything should arise, should happen to that sector, it rubs off negatively on the image of the nation to the outside world. And since it's not only Nigeria that when you talk of aviation, it's a movement, a kind of it's a sector that oversees the movement of people by air, and most cases between countries, between Nigeria and other countries of the world. And if anything should happen, then it's a calamity. Some people whose means of livelihood, whose appointment whose appointment, the kind of engagement they have, the engagements that they have are time bound. For instance, if anybody is going for an interview overseas for an employment, and you are delayed at the airport, or you couldn't fly
because of strike,
that's gone. That appointment is gone.
It's gone.
There are so many bilateral agreements that will involve countries.
Yes.
And that could impugn on the well-being of the entire nation. A doctor could be on a particular flight. A doctor that is meant to save the life of somebody could be on a particular flight that has been delayed or cancelled. What happens? So the government is trying to say that it will enforce the section of the Civil Aviation Act 2022,
what does it say?
which disallows employees from embarking on flight crippling strikes in the future. That is what government says. It will not allow that to happen again.
And the government,
it has been signed into law now, and the president has assented to it.
The government too.
But that does not mean that the government should not address whatever grievances the aviation workers
The aviation workers are striking based on some demands. Those demands are taken care of. What is the need for a strike?
The aviation workers, I think they want salary increase.
With the way things are in this country,
yes,
everybody needs salary increase. That is correct.
If they give it to aviation workers,
others will get it too.
Which I will say they deserve, is well deserved.
It is.
What happens to those of us in the common public service?
Look, there is
if it is given to them and federal workers have it as they had it the other time, what happens to the state?
Look, any sensitive and sensible government must know that the way things are going.
So let's take a look at 100% salary increment in pay, 100% increment in pay following the upward review of ground handling charges in the sector.
Yeah,
that's what I am not against. Their requisition, their request. I'm not against their demands from the government, but NACO management had approached the court to prevent the looming industrial action. Nonetheless, the workers embark. They withdrew their services. 12 a.m. Monday, leaving hundreds of air travelers and airlines in limbo. So, and when you consider the fact that, can you imagine?
Okay.
So some of these airlines are to divert flights to neighboring countries.
That is it.
Or returning passengers to base.
You see?
So can you imagine?
Who is to blame here? Who is to blame? And in this situation,
it is two-way. It is two-way. You blame the government for not acceding to the request of aviation workers.
Yes.
But at the same time, you want to probably blame the workers too for not probably exploring all necessary avenues and for opting for crippling the aviation services. Flights. Flights? Crippling of flight services and what have you. So I want to think that in Nigeria we should start doing it the way it's done in a Sena clan. If they are not going on strike in US, if they are not, though at times we get reports, but they normally attend to it quickly in order not to not to let it snowball.
into
full-scale crisis,
into an uncontrollable crisis.
Something has to be done. There should be a task force that will be attending to issues like that before they rear their ugly heads. Yes, there should be a contingency plan.
Yeah.
Just as there was a task force for the Super Eagles of Nigeria then, which was see to each time Nigeria will be involved in any major global competitions or Mundia. There used to be a task force, presidential task force, that will probably see to generation of fund good enough and sufficient enough to cater for the needs of, so that bureaucracy would not be the order of the day.
Because
when those serving the workers in that particular, especially the footballers, if they should go on a strike for a day or two, the next game they might lose.
It's going to be a disaster.
That is it.
Thank you very much, Muhyiddin Adeleke, for coming on the program, and I want to especially appreciate the producer of the program, Oladayo Olanipekun, who is working on leave. Yes, he's been working on leave, and I want to.
He's on working leave.
Yes, he's working on leave, and so many is on working leave. And I want to appreciate the executive producer, Keola Wolabi, and all those who have made today's program a success. Next Friday, we will be here together on the program. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Good afternoon.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Public service announcement. This is to inform the general public that the female person whose photograph shown on the screen left